Welcome back to Judo Highlights. Today we're going to have a look at under 90s and my predictions. We'll have a look at the quarterfinal matchups as well. Now, the top 8, they are strong. I think it's mostly going to be decided around those top 8 guys, but there are some big names who are not in the top 8 seeds. Majdov, for example, current European champion Palati, and then there's also Igolnikov. He's outside there, just ranked number 10 as well. But anyway, we're going to talk about the quarterfinal matchups because that's what we know about. Now, the number 1 seed, he is Murao, and he is going to be going up against Ngayap from France. I think Murao, he's going to get through this one pretty easily. I don't think Ngayap has that kind of style that's going to be problematic for Murao. You know, the French, they play their judo in a very similar way or a close way to the Japanese. So I think Murao, he's going to get through this one. And I definitely think he's going to be one of the favorites to become world champion, although he's got some big names to run through. Now the second quarterfinal, it's going to be up against Celidis, and his opponent is going to be Majdov. Now Majdov, he is winning this matchup. He's got 3 wins, and Celidis just the 1. Now, interestingly, the time that Celidis won, it was at the Paris Olympics, and so that was the last contest these two had against each other. I'm sure Majdov would like to get that one back. Obviously, it being at the Olympics, I did not see this contest. I feel like that's the case with the Olympics. You just see some contests and don't see other ones. So I have no idea what happened in that contest. But I do know that Majdov lost by ippon at some point in that contest. Now the next quarterfinal, and it's probably the most interesting one, it's going to be Bekauri from Georgia against Tajima from Japan. Now we've seen these two face up against each other just once before, and personally I like this matchup before seeing it. Tajima, shorter, stockier, has good techniques like seoi nage and then pickups as well. If you've ever seen Bekauri against Mashiyama, that was a really good example of how someone can beat Bekauri, how a Japanese judoka can beat that sort of style. And I thought Tajima could kind of mimic that in a similar way. But he went in for a pickup, and then Bekauri, so good in that range, managed to counter him. So I don't think Tajima's going to make that mistake again. I think he's going to game plan pretty hard for this contest. He's obviously felt Bekauri before. And so that's a really interesting one, but you've got to go with the Olympic champion. He always manages to rise to these occasions. Now that is a little bit unfortunate for Tajima because I did want to see him rematch Murao again. If Tajima does get through Bekauri and he ends up facing Murao again, I think Murao's probably going to win that. Tajima just looked a little bit lost when they did fight at the Tokyo Grand Slam. But anyway, I'm going to go with Bekauri for that quarterfinal. And now the fourth quarterfinal, we have Macedo against Hajiev. They haven't fought before, and I've got to go with Hajiev. I think his judo is fantastic, and he's really leveling up each time he goes out on the tatami. So he's going to get through that contest, and then Bekauri, he's got to go up against Hajiev. And it's actually Hajiev that has a win over Bekauri through him for ippon. And so Bekauri, he's got a lot to go through to become world champion. I think Murao on the other side of the bracket has an easier semi-final matchup. And so personally, I think Bekauri, if he gets through Tajima, that is a tall order, and he gets through Hajiev, that's another really tall order. So I think he's going to lose at one stage, and I think he might lose to Hajiev. So I'm going to go with Hajiev for this quarterfinal. Some people might shoot me in the comments for that pick, but it is what it is. Now, on the other side of the bracket, we have the winner of Celidis and Majdov against Murao. I'm pretty sure Murao's going to get through his quarterfinal. And you've got to go with Murao. He's really good stylistically against these two people, I think. And so I think, as I said, just an easier semi-final to get through to the finals. Now, interestingly, Murao, he's actually lost against Hajiev. He's lost against Bekauri as well. So against either of those guys, the final is going to be difficult. But I think Murao, he's going to be well prepared for Bekauri. Hajiev, that might be another story. So I'm going to say this. If Bekauri makes it to the final, I think Murao beats him. If Hajiev makes it to the final, I think Hajiev wins again, because I think Murao is probably thinking about Bekauri a little bit too much, and maybe Hajiev's not at the front of his mind. Anyway, those are my picks. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.